Good morning, students. Previously, we discussed about simple permanent tissue, parenchyma, collenchyma, and sclerenchyma. Now, today we'll be discussing about complex tissues. But before that, we have two more simple tissues. We'll discuss about these tissues first. So, first is epidermis. Epidermis tissue, or this word epidermis, it is made up of two words, that is epi and dermis or dermal. Epi means outer and dermal means or dermis means skin. That means this is that tissue which forms the outer cover of the plant body. Epidermis tissue, it covers the entire body of plant. Like we have skin to cover, in the same way plants, they have this epidermis tissue. Cells in epidermis, they are similar in structure to parenchyma, but in parenchyma cells, they are loosely packed, but here they are tightly packed. They protect plant from injury, germs, water loss, and they have generally one layer of cell, because some of the plants, they have one more layer over the epidermis, which is called cuticle. We'll discuss that later. Stomata, you must have heard about stomata. These are the tiny openings which are present on the lower epidermal layer of leaf and even the soft part of stem. A stomata is composed of two guard cells which regulate the opening and closing of stomata or stoma. And stomata, as you know, they are responsible for exchange of gases and as well as transpiration. Transpiration is actually a process of removal of excess of water from the plant's body, because whatever the amount of water plants absorb, out of that only a little percentage is utilized during photosynthesis and rest of it is expelled out of the plant's body by this process called transpiration. In desert plants, epidermis and cutin or cuticle are waterproof waxy substance secreted by epidermis. They are present and they are thicker, so water loss is further reduced. In desert plants, they are also called as xerophytes or xerophytic plants, since they tolerate all sort of high temperature and adverse conditions of weather. So therefore, there are chances that they may dry because of the high temperature and excess loss of water. So in order to avoid that or to prevent that, they have a cuticle layer or a waxy coating which avoids the escaping out of water from the surface. So that avoids loss of water. So this is a cross section of a leaf. As you can see here, this is the epidermis, upper epidermis, and this is lower epidermis, and this is the waxy coating over the surface, which is called cuticle or cutin. As you can see here, these upper dermis layer, they are continuous and there is no gap. But unlike the upper epidermis, lower epidermis, they have some gaps here, and these gaps are nothing but these are the stoma or the stomata. Stoma, these are the opening, and stomata, these are the structures which are responsible for exchange of gases as well as transpiration process, right? And these are the mesophyll cells, palisade tissues, spongy mesophyll. These are the veins. Veins are vascular bundle like xylem and phloem, which we'll be discussing later. And second, simple type of tissue, this is also a simple type of tissue, permanent tissue, that is cork tissue. These type of tissues consist of dead cells. Yes, remember that these are dead, and with no intercellular space, they form outer layer of old tree trunks, or you can say they form the bark of the stem or the trees. Cells in cork contain a chemical substance called suberin, and this suberin is water resistance and gas resistance also. It doesn't allow any water or gas to enter into the plant's body. Cork tissue, they protects plants from injury, germs, and even water loss. Cork, you must have seen that it is light, so it is light in weight, so it is used commercially for making several products like water or bottle stoppers, shuttlecocks. So this is a transverse section of a stem to show you the cork. As you can see here, it's written cork. Cork, cambium, together they form periderm, and living phloem, it forms the bark, that forms the outer skin, and vesicular cambium, then sapwood and heartwood. These are the different parts you can see while in a transverse section of a stem. You should know what is heartwood and sapwood. Sapwood, it is the living outermost portion of a stem or a branch, whereas this heartwood, it is dead and inner wood, and you can easily distinguish between these two by their color. Heartwood is always darker, whereas sapwood is lighter in color. And vesicular cambium, it is the main growth tissue in the stem and even roots. And cork cambium, it produces the bark or the cork. Now we'll discuss the complex permanent tissue. As the name suggests, complex, that means they are not made up of same type of cells or tissues. They are made up of different types of tissues. So therefore the name has been given complex permanent tissue. Complex permanent tissues, they are of two types. First is xylem and second is phloem. You must have heard about these two terms earlier. Xylem, it is the tissue that transports water and minerals from roots to upper part of plant. And it is composed of four types of cells or elements like vessels, tracheids, xylem parenchyma and xylem sclerenchyma or xylem fibers. Vessel is a tube-like structure. Vessels, they are dead and have lignified thick cell wall. That means they have a thick cell wall and it is lignified. That means it has lignin deposit over its outer surface. But remember, they are dead. And tracheids, these are long elongated cells with tapered ending. Tapered means they have narrow ending or sharp endings. Tracheid cells are also dead, and tracheid transports water through small openings called pits. Parenchymas, yes, these are living, or you can say they are living cells, and they store food and nutrients. And fourth one is sclerenchyma or fibers. They are dead cells and they provide mechanical support to the plant. So out of these four elements, you can see only one, that is xylem parenchyma, is living, and rest of them, they are dead. So that means these will be providing, that is vessels, tracheids and sclerenchyma, they will be providing mechanical support and they help in the transportation of water and minerals. So this is actually a diagram which shows xylem and phloem together. As you can see here, this is xylem and the second one is phloem. These arrows shows the flow of water and minerals, and here these blue arrows shows the transportation or translocation of food. What is the difference you can see here is, here the direction of flow is only in one direction, that is one way, whereas it is in both the ways, or it is bidirectional. That means the transportation of water and minerals, it always takes from roots to the shoot or the upper part, that is always in the upward direction. But unlike xylem or the conduction in xylem, conduction in phloem, it takes place in both the direction, that means upward as well as downward direction, right? And these are the different components. We'll be discussing the phloem in the next section. So please do remember that xylem, in case of xylem, the transportation of water and minerals takes place from roots to the shoot, whereas in phloem, translocation or the transfer of food takes place in both the direction, because it's not so that it's only the leaves which require food. Shoot, flowers, fruits, stem, branches, roots, every part requires energy or food, because in order to carry out different cellular activities they require some energy, and for that energy comes from the leaves, where the food is synthesized during photosynthesis. So therefore in phloem it is bidirectional, whereas in xylem it is unidirectional. Now these are different components of xylem tissue: tracheid, vessels, xylem parenchyma, and even xylem fibers or xylem sclerenchyma, they are also present. These are the pits or the openings through which the transfer of the water it moves. And this is nucleus, cytoplasm. This is living. Xylem parenchyma is living, and these are dead. Now next is another complex permanent tissue, that is phloem. Phloem, it is the tissue that transports food from site of photosynthesis, that means the leaves, to different parts of plant. It is composed of 4 types of cells, that is sieve tubes, companion cells, phloem parenchyma, phloem fibers, or even blast fibers. And all types of cells, they are living or live except phloem fibers. Unlike in xylem, only one was living, that was xylem parenchyma. Here all are dead except which one? Fibers, phloem fibers. All are living, make the correction, all are living except this phloem fiber. So let's see what are the different components of phloem. First is sieve tubes. These are elongated or long and tubular, and they have thin cell wall. They have cytoplasm but do not have nucleus and other organs. These cells are responsible for transportation of food and nutrients. And second is companion cells. They have cytoplasm, nucleus, and other organelles. They perform the tasks required for sieve cells for living. As the name suggests, companion, that means they are friends or partners, which helps the other cells or sieve cells for performing their tasks. Third is phloem parenchyma, and its main function is to store the food that is required for the working. And fourth is phloem fibers. Fibers, as you know, they are dead, and since they are dead, they don't have any major role except for providing a mechanical support. So they have thick cell wall and they provide mechanical support to plant. So this diagram shows the components of phloem tissue. This is the section of phloem: sieve tube, sieve plates, phloem parenchyma, companion cells. Sieve tubes, these are the tubular parts. As you can see this hollow cavity here, these are the tubular parts, and here you can see these are some perforations or holes through which the food get transferred. Sieve you must have seen, which is used to separate chaff from that flour. Your mother must be using it. So sieve, or in Hindi we call it as chalni. Right, so these are very similar to that, therefore the name has been given sieve plates, which helps in transferring the food. And these are tubular parts. Phloem parenchyma, these are living and stores the food which is required for the working of these cells. And companion cells, they also help the other cells. So these are the different components of phloem tissue. So students, I hope you have understood these topics, especially the complex permanent tissues, xylem and phloem. So this is all for today's topic. Thank you. Thanks a lot.